Your AI still writes you essays not because you haven't tried to fix it, because you fixed the wrong thing. Adding "be concise" to your prompt works, but that's the weakest approach of 4. There are 3 more layers, which gives you better control, longer pre-resistance, and no more reprompting. By the end of this talk, you will know exactly which one controls what and when to use it. LLMs are verbose by design. During the training process, longer answers are scored higher. Users find it useful when, in the end of the reply, model proposes the next action or suggests a new angle. So out of the box, deep is the default. Claude AI has 4 separate systems that each control a different aspect of how it responds. Style, memory, project instruction, and prompt techniques. They don't all do the same thing. The problem is that Anthropic has never published a single document explaining how they stack together. Today I will walk you through all 4, what each one actually controls, and the setup that stops the drift for good. Before the 4 layers, a quick win for people in rush. When you write "keep it under 100 words", Claude doesn't count words. Language models process text in chunks called tokens. A token is roughly 3 to 4 characters. Under 100 words in LLM eyes is an estimate, sometimes close, sometimes not. Let's call this a token gap, the distance between the limit you ask for and what the model can actually measure. Anthropic own prompt engineering documentation flag this. The fix sentence count over word count. Respond in 3 sentences or fewer outperforms keep it under 100 words. Sentences are structural units. The model counts them more consistently. Action, swap every word limit you are using for a sentence limit. 3 sentences or fewer unless I ask for more. Quick win as promised. This fix is immediate. The problem is that you have to type it every time. New conversation, back to square one. The question is, how do you make it permanent? And that's the layer problem. And the reason one fix never holds is that each layer controls something different. Claude verbosity is caused by several different factors. For the sake of this video, we're gonna focus only on 2 of them. Problem number 1. Formatting. How the response look, the paragraph length, and whenever it's at a summary you didn't ask for. And the second problem, the reasoning depth. How much the model thinks out loud before giving you the answer. Think about caveats or logic chains you didn't need. Those are not the same problems, and not all 4 layers solve both. Let's start with the first layer, styles. Bottom left of Claude interface, use style menu. There is a preset called concise. This applies to every new message immediately. What it controls? Formatting. Responses look shorter, there is less padding and less summaries in the end. Good thing about styles is that you can change them multiple times in one conversation. And the change applies immediately to the next answer. What it doesn't control is reasoning depth. Claude can still walk you through entire logic chain just in shorter paragraphs. This is why this mode alone doesn't fully solve it. You change the presentation, not what goes into the answer. Layer 2, project instructions. A project is a workspace in Claude where you group conversations. Inside every project, there is a field set project instructions. Whenever you write there, loads into every conversation in that project, automatically and every time. And this is the layer which controls longer pre-resistance. Because this load as a behavioral instruction, not just display preference, it can reach deeper how Claude reasons, not just how it formats the output. You can steer the model to act as a different personas, a direct analyst who gives you the answer first and skip the reasoning chain unless you ask for it. You get exactly what you ask for and you don't need to ask over and over again. Action, open a project or create one and start testing how the project instructions affect how the model behaves. Okay, so we just covered the first 2 layers. Just a couple minutes to set up and the core problem is gone. Almost. The fix lives inside of the project. Every conversation in that project you covered. Every time you're going outside of the project, you're going back to the square one. Fresh Claude, default setting, and unfortunately back to the essays. Layer 3 and 4 handle that. One of them has a trap, worth knowing before you're gonna set it up. So the layer 3 is memory. Claude's memory isn't a list of saved notes. It's a running summary, a background document that loads every time you start a conversation automatically. You can switch it off, but the default setting is that it's upload automatically. And this is happening inside of the project or outside. Go to setting, capabilities, view and edit memory. You can edit it directly. Something what you can do right now, edit the memory and see how this influences the behavior of your LLM. You can write something like prefer concise, direct responses. 3 sentences maximum, unless details are requested. Now every conversation carries this preference. So here is the trap. Current Claude models already ship less verbose than older versions. Anthropic documentation is clear about it. saying the current models is more direct and less verbose by default. So if you're going to set too aggressive memory instruction on the top of the model which is already lean, you can push it too far. A wise man once said, with great power comes great responsibility. The fix: simply start easy. Treat memory as additional resource, not an obligatory fix. If styles and project instruction didn't solve the problem, then adjust the memory. However, avoid statements like always be concise no matter what. Then test it across couple conversation. If you notice that useful context starts disappearing, ease the instructions back. And that brings us to our final weapon, prompt techniques. This one is per conversation, not a permanent rule like memory. It is a precise tool for when you need a specific output for a specific message. Two techniques that actually works in terms of shortening the answer, one from Anthropic documentation and one from observed behavior. The first one is mirror structure. Short, direct question in, short, direct answer out. Remove markdown for your prompt, you get less markdown back. Markdown is a way of using simple symbols in text, like putting stars around the word to make it bold. That tells up how to display your writing. The models mirror what you send. And the second one, positive framing. Your response should be 3 sentences of plain text will outperforms don't use bullet points, don't use summary, and don't explain your reasoning. Tell it what to do, not what to avoid. That change alone already improves user experience. If you don't like when LLM ends every reply with suggestion, something like would you like me to or do you want me to, that's the perfect fix for positive framing. Try something like end your response when the answer is complete. Quick note, when you don't need to care about that. Every time when you have one-shot question, if you're going to use a positive framing or negative, if you're gonna set a limit to words or sentences, all of that just gonna work fine. But that's not the game which we are playing here. All of the above really gonna start to matter when you push these models to the limit. We're talking about complex work, multi-reasoning, or long conversation. With this, you really want to position yourself in the best position possible. And then all of the small tweaks which we just discussed really start to pay off. So we discussed 4 layers, each controls something different. The risk now is that you're gonna configure all of them and you're gonna start fighting with each other. So that is the approach I use. It's flexible, and what is more important, it can scale up or down to save time. Think of these layers like Lego bricks. Each one works on its own. You stack them when you need more reach. And you never need all 4 at once. Lego bricks can be mix, swap, or deattach. The same with this method. Test them and find the best combination for you. The question is, how long do you need the fix to last? Needed for this conversation only? Use prompt techniques. 0 setup. Start with conversation with specific instruction. Sentence count, mirror structure, positive framing. The risk, longer conversation can drift away from this instruction. You might need to reinforce them later again. Planning to work on a specific task across multiple conversations? Set project instruction and use your behavior rule. Every conversation in these projects carry it. You can further adjust with the style. This will cover the majority of your needs. Need it everywhere, every conversation, every project, always. Work with memory. Start light. Test carefully. The overcorrection trap is real. Remember what Uncle Ben said. With great power comes great responsibility. And that's it. You don't need a slider, you need to know which brick to reach for and when. Anthropic built 4 separate systems and never explained them how they work in one document. So I did some old-style test and try so you don't have to. Every source I mention is linked in the description. I sort them by the claim so you can challenge me on anything what I said. There is one more important aspect to that. Keeping your replies short make your AI smarter and cheaper. If you want to find out how, I made a full video about that. Link is on the screen.